Today we continue with our class Halachos of Brochos, and today class number 39. And we start with Sefer Shmiras Haloshon. Today's topic is despair. Let's see. Another primary reason why people speak Lashon Hara is despair, meaning that they despair of being able to live by the Torah laws in a proper speech. So people say, this law I cannot keep. Why? I'm people's people. I need to talk. I'm social being. I need to talk. Okay, right? But of course, it's all illusions. There are those, and how do you know it's all illusions? Because Hashem would not give us a mitzvah that we are not capable of doing. That's the answer. Simple answer. If Hashem gave us mitzvah and say do it, it means that we can do it. There are those who convince themselves that anyone who interacts with others in normal business and social relations cannot possibly live by these laws, meaning not to talk Lashon Hara. To support this contention, they cite the Talmudic statement that everyone is guilty of Lashon Hara. Baba Basra 165a. Okay, of course, they're grossly mistaken. So people try to take things out of context, like they read the whole Gemara, right? Okay, it is known axiom of the Jewish belief that Hashem does not make excessive demands of His creation. Exactly as we said. So if Hashem said that we should do this, and that, it means what? That we are capable to do that. And as Rav Reuven Shlita always say that Hashem created that person's body like perfect for what? For performing mitzvahs. That's the only reason He created the body, so we can perform the mitzvahs. If the Torah places certain obligation upon us, then surely the fulfillment is in our reach. Right? Torah said, of course we do. Right? Would adherence to the laws of Shmiras Haloshon be ordently difficult achievement? Then it would be optional, a matter of the exceedingly righteous who strive to perfect themselves in a way so that others never attempt. Right? So there are some things that Shulchan Aruch says, or Mishnah Berurah says, it's not necessary, but if you do that, you're going to get blessed. Right? So meaning what? You're not obligated. It's extra. But never said about the loss of Lashon Hara and proper speech that it is extra. Nobody ever said that. It is basic requirement. In fact, to refrain from speaking Lashon Hara is required by the Torah and involve numerous commandments. Obviously, the Creator has endowed every Jewish soul with the ability to observe these laws. Right? If Hashem said we can do it, it means that we can do it. So, of course, everybody have their own circumstances, and they have to adjust their lifestyle, their speech, to keep this Shmiras Haloshon, right? In their circumstances, which is, as we said, it's always possible. A God of faith without iniquity. It says Dvarim 32:4. God creates a man to be righteous, not wicked. Okay, it's a commentary from Sefer. Very interesting. This means that Hashem endowed each Jew with the ability to absorb all His commandments. For if not, it would be unfair to hold him accountable for the transgression. So it's like you punish your child, you're 3 years old, that he cannot take refrigerator and climb on the 3rd floor. You understand? So it's of course it's not reasonable to demand this of a little baby, right? Same is here. If Hashem said you're going to be severely punished, and it's one of the people who lose Olam Haba, right, and have shared no share in the world to come, the one who speaks Lashon. Okay, we stop. Okay, so we continue. We didn't finish the last topic, and last topic was benching, right? Meaning saying Berachos Hamazon. We start with where we left off. Okay. And we say, we continue Shabbos and Yom Tov. In this section, we discuss the additions of the paragraph, Recite and Yaaleh on Shabbos and Yom Tov, and the halachas relating to one who omits them. Okay, so let's see commentary. Regarding the missions of the reference of Shabbos and Yom Tov, Yaaleh Mechiyah, Yaaleh Geffen, and Haloed, see chapter 20, section 8. Okay, so we're going to get to it. I'm not sure what chapter we are on right now. Doesn't say. Okay, it doesn't matter. I don't think that. Okay, so it's 18. We're going to get to it. Okay. So continue. Note, when we use the term omitted, it means that one either finished the entire benching or was already in the middle of the recited the fourth bracha when he realized his error. If mistake was caught in the beginning of the fourth bracha, right? See addendum 3. So let's see, and of course we're going to explain all these things. So commentary say there is he started the fourth bracha, but nevertheless caught an error within reciting of the first 6 words. His benching can still be rectified. So meaning he stops, right? Or if he says less than 6 words in the fourth blessing, which is the last one, right? So you go back and you say you add these things for Shabbos or Yom Tov, whatever it is. So let's start. So number 1, Shabbos Yom Tov. The Shabbos paragraph recite is added to the Torah bracha of the Birchas Hamazon. On Yom Tov, Yaaleh is added. Of course, when there is a Shabbos and Yom Tov on the same day, so you say both of them. Okay. Okay. So A, evening, main daytime meal, and the main daytime meal. So we're talking about, let's say it's, if you're talking about Shabbos, it's Friday night or Erev, beginning of Yom Tov, not Erev Yom Tov, but Yom Tov night. Okay. On Shabbos and Yom Tov, one is required to eat no less than 2 meals with bread, one in the evening and one during the day. Commentary. If one did not eat the Friday evening meal, he should eat extra meal during the day. See, okay. So, all right. So let's try to explain a little. So we actually covered this in our class, Laws of Shabbos. So just to remind us what we said there. So at least minimum, right? Minimum 2 meals we have to eat on Shabbos and Yom Tov. So according to some poskim, it's actually on the Shabbos you have to eat 3 meals, right? So that's what we hold it by, 3 meals. But in the case of necessity, we can go by more lenient opinion and we say 3 meals, 2 meals, meaning Friday night and Shabbos day, right? But we said if a person was, for example, he was sick, right? Somebody who was sick Friday night and he did not make a kiddush and he did not eat, right? Okay, he fell asleep, slept through the whole night, and now in Shabbos morning, right? So person has to eat 2 meals. One, he's going to do 1 kiddush, right? Only 1 kiddush. I think, if I remember correctly, it would be the Friday night kiddush without the first paragraph. That's what, because it's a Torah obligation. And then he should eat like 2 seudas, 2 meals, right? But if he usually eats 3rd meal, right, as supposed to, right? So he would need to eat 3 meals during the Shabbos day. So, and meals, as we said, it does not have to be a lot of food. Just, one should be like satiating enough, and others could be just a piece of bread. Could be enough. Okay. Okay. So we go by the minimum requirement for okay. So no less than 2 meals, right? And on Yom Tov, everybody agrees that only 2 meals are required. I saw some opinions for 3, but okay, we don't care about that. Okay, for Yom Tov, 2 meals, and for Shabbos minimum also 2 meals. Okay, so let's see. If I'm omitted recite, it's addition for Shabbos, or Yom Tov, or Yaaleh. So Yaaleh is for Yom Tov. At a meal where eating bread was mandatory, there is evening meal or the first meal of the day. but not Shalosh Seudos meal. So in Shalosh Seudos, meaning the third meal, and some poskim say it's not like the meal is not mandatory. I'll take it back. Sorry, I mean it's not. You're not obligated to eat bread. So we still eat bread, like, but some say maybe you can eat mizoines, maybe you can eat even fruit or eat something else. So okay. So he must recite the entire Birkas Hamazon again, making sure that to include recite or Yaaleh. Okay, so that's like very straightforward. So person forgot to say in this edition for Shabbos or edition for Yom Tov, he finished Birkas Hamazon, or he started the fourth blessing and already said Hashem's name. So that's it. So he must, I guess, finish the sentence and then go back and say the whole Birkas Hamazon from the beginning. So commentary on Rosh Hashanah. If one forget the Yaaleh in the evening meal, he must bench again. If he forgot Yaaleh at the first meal of the day, there is a halachic uncertainty as to whether or not he is required to bench again. Okay, so let's try to understand. So Rosh Hashanah. So what is Rosh Hashanah? Rosh Hashanah is what is it? It's Rosh Chodesh, right? Rosh Hashanah is Rosh Chodesh. So he would need to say what? He would need to say Yaaleh. Okay, for Rosh Hashanah in the evening meal. One second, I forgot the Yaaleh at the first meal of the day. The first meal of the day, there is a halachic uncertainty as to whether or not he is required to bench again. I'm thinking why would be uncertainty? I'm not sure. Okay, so let's leave it as it is. Okay, so of course on Rosh Hashanah, if you did not say Yaaleh, we have to go back. Okay. Okay, continue. If one is unsure as to whether or not he said a recite of Yaaleh at the two main Shabbos and Yom Tov meal, he must bench again. So if he's not sure, so we go by the by the certainty, right? So most likely he did not say. How do we know? Most likely he did not say because Yom Tovs are not so often, right? So it's very common for people to forget, like skip if they know, especially if they know the Birkas Hamazon by heart. They say very fast. Let's say they do not know the value of Birkas Hamazon, so they say very fast. It's easy for them to skip Yaaleh. Okay. So and same on Shabbos. Shabbos is only, as they say, it's only once in 7 days, so it's very easy to forget to say it. So in case of the doubt, and since it is biblical requirement, so you go back and say Birkas Hamazon from the beginning. Continue. Shalosh Seudos, third meal or fourth meal? Okay, so let's see. So third meal or fourth meal? Okay. Most poskim rule the eating bread and Shalosh Seudos meal on Shabbos is mandatory. So that's as I said in the beginning. So in a case of need, you can rely on more lenient opinion, but under normal circumstances, we always eat bread, unless somebody does not feel good and this he overate this and that. So that's some rare exception, but otherwise we should eat bread, as we said before, right? This is, however, a minority ruling that say that can be yotzi shosh leodosh meal by eating food other than bread. The difference in deference to this minority opinion, if let's say was mistakenly omitted at shalosh seudos, one should not bench again. So here comes the leniency, since there is opinion that that a person can go by just eating, I don't know, like as we said, some cake, some mizonos, or even they say fruit, even fish, meat, something important. So in a case when he cannot eat bread, right? So we can rely on this opinion. And in case person ate bread and forgot recite, meaning this addition for Shabbos, so we say, okay, no problem. Okay, don't repeat Berachos Hamazon. So that's the rule. Continue. According to all views, eating bread at the third meal on Yom Tov or the fourth meal on Shabbos is optional. Okay, so on Yom Tov, I mean, some people do have, as I said before, yeah, some people say that to have a third meal, but usually I don't think how it makes sense, because usually people eat a lot during the day meal, and then usually they're not so hungry after that. Okay, continue. Therefore, even though let's say Yaaleh is initially required for these meals, nevertheless, if it was mistakenly omitted, one is not required to bench again. Okay, so if a person ate 3 meals with bread, right, on Yom Tov, so the third meal he forgot to say Yaaleh, no problem. Or fourth meal, I'm not sure why would somebody eat fourth meal. So fourth meal is not Milav Malka, just so you know, it's not. It's extra, whatever they want to eat is extra. Okay. So since those are extra and bread is not required, it's not obligation. So if they forgot to say all of these additions, so there's no problem. They can get by. Continue. Regarding meals which are ended after the nightfall, see paragraph 6 below. Okay, we're going to get to it. So meaning what is the problem we'll be discussing in other classes before. So what should if the next week, right? So Sunday, right? So let's say Sunday is Rosh Chodesh. So and you started you still the Shlishi, right? The third meals on Shabbos, and you started before the sunset, right? It continued into the fall, which is easily. It's only maybe 1.5 hours, like that's it, right? Maybe 1 hour or so, right? So it's not very long meal technically, right? So the question is, do we say blessed, since today is already sun right now, I'm ready to bench, and today is Sunday, technically Sunday, it's after the nightfall, right? So do I say that today is Rosh Chodesh, or since I start eating when it was Shabbos, it's still Shabbos. So it cannot be both. Cannot be. So you have to choose. It's Saturday or Sunday. Okay. So that's we're going to discuss later. Number 2, Chol Hamoed, Rosh Chodesh. So on Chol Hamoed we also say, just to remind us, on Chol Hamoed we also say Yaaleh, right? And Rosh Chodesh we also say Yaaleh. We just add different, like the different addition. Okay. So let's see. On Chol Hamoed and Rosh Chodesh, Yaaleh is added to Bentching. Exactly. Eating the meal with bread on Chol Hamoed or Rosh Chodesh is preferable, but not mandatory. Therefore, if one omitted Yaaleh, he is not required to bench again. Okay. So commentaries say it is a mitzvah to eat meals with bread on each day of Chol Hamoed. Okay. One at night and one during the day. So okay, so as you said, there is a mitzvah, but after the fact, if somebody did not do it for whatever reason, like he is not obligated. So meaning what? So since there is no such an obligation, even though according to many it is a mitzvah, right? So what do we do? So if he forgot that today is Rosh Chodesh or today is Chol Hamoed, we don't go back and don't require him to say this this Yaaleh or recite. That was actually a question that they asked one of my students on a conversion exam. Very interesting, and she knew it. I mean, but the judges were very surprised. Okay, Therefore, if one is omitted Yaaleh b'Yoveh, he is not required to bench again. Right? So, okay. Maybe he remembered that it's Yaaleh, that today is Rosh Chodesh, but it was too much on a person's mind. So he forgot. Okay, we leave him alone. Okay. Next one, number 3. Yom Tov, Rosh Chodesh, etc., which falls on Shabbos. Okay. So meaning it coincides with Shabbos, right? When Yom Tov falls on Shabbos, both Recite and Yaaleh b'Yoveh must be added, right? Two different occasions. Shabbos is Shabbos, Yom Tov is Yom Tov, and so you have to say both additions. Recite should be recited first, followed by Yaaleh b'Yoveh. But it's in all. You have to remember this fact. Just if you read from the Siddur or from the Bencher, you should be fine. That's exactly, it's everywhere like this. However, if one mistakenly recited Yaaleh b'Yoveh first, should continue with Recite and then progress with the rest of the benching. I'm not sure that, I think this is one of the cases that person forgot, or he just doing it by heart, right? So he remembered that today is Yom Tov, but forgot that today is Shabbos. So he said first addition for Yom Tov, and then he can always go back and say the addition for Shabbos. So the reason, I'm not sure they're going to say. Okay, let's just say it for our education. So why the question is, why do we say Recite first and then Yaaleh b'Yoveh? Why addition for Shabbos first and then addition for Yom Tov? The reason is very simple. We have to know how the Torah works, right? The Torah works as follows. What occurs more often is more important. Meaning what? The Shabbos occurs more often than the Yom Tov. So Shabbos is more important. So that's why we mention it first, and then we mention Yom Tov. Okay, but if person switch the place, I mean, it does not change anything. You have to say this and this. Okay. If one eat it either Recite or Yaaleh b'Yoveh or both in Berachos of one of the meals where the bread is mandatory. So let's say it's Friday night and it's Yom Tov and Shabbos. He must bench again. So if make bench again and make sure to recite both Recite and Yaaleh b'Yoveh. So we always try to, even a person knows by heart, so but try to tell everybody. So even if you know by heart, try to like maybe forget what you know. It's good thing to forget and pretend that you don't remember and try to read from the Siddur. So if you read from the Siddur, of course it's going to be slower, right? You just try to follow his finger wherever you read, and it's going to be much slower, right? But you're going to ensure that you're not going to skip very important parts. Okay, so one more time I'm going to read, so we have continuation. If one omitted Recite or Yaaleh b'Yoveh, or both, in the Berachos or one of the meals where the bread is mandatory, he must bench again. So he must go in the beginning of the Berachos, making sure to recite both Recite and Yaaleh b'Yoveh. So, but again, if you concentrate, if you just before you start benching, just close your eyes maybe for a second, 2 seconds, and think what you have to say today, what kind of day today, and it should help. Continue. When Hamoed or Rosh Chodesh falls on Shabbos, if Yaaleh b'Yoveh was omitted, he is not required to bench again. So one more time. If Hamoed or Rosh Chodesh falls on Shabbos, if Yaaleh b'Yoveh was omitted, he is not required to bench again. So I mean, of course it's proper to say it, but if a person forgot, so after the fact, he's not allowed. Why? Because as we said on Hamoed, even though we said in the note it is a mitzvah to eat 2 meals with bread on Hamoed, but many poskim say it's not necessary. So basically, you can you're not obligated to go back. And same with Rosh Chodesh. Continue. However, if recite was omitted, he must bench again, making sure to include both recite and Yaaleh. So if, but here's a different situation. So he said blessing Yaaleh for Rosh Chodesh, but forgot to say this addition for Shabbos, recite. So in this case, he must go back and say both of them, right? So when we repeat, we have to say everything, even though we said that before in the previous time. Okay. Continue. Any questions on what we said? No problem. Continue. Chanuka, Purim. On Chanuka and Purim, the paragraph beginning with words Ala Nisim is added to the second bracha, not there. So that's you have to be very careful. Like it's coming fast, right? It's in second blessing in Birchas Hamazon. If one omitted Ala Nisim, he does not have to bench again. Commentary. When Chanukah falls on Shabbos, Ala Nisim and Recite are added. If Recite was omitted, he must bench again. Okay, so let's try to understand. So those are two rabbinical holidays, right? Purim and Chanukah. And there is a special edition in Birchas Hamazon that we say for Purim and Chanukah. Okay, but we're not obligated to eat meals. Even though there is a separate obligation on Chanukah to eat meal, right? Like a feast, festive meal. But I guess it's on a rabbinical level. Understand? It's not, of course. I mean, it's a rabbinical mitzvah. It's on a rabbinical level, right? So that's and benching is saying Birchas Hamazon is a biblical. So if he forgot, so it's like he was not obligated to do it to begin with. Okay. But what they say, if it was Chanukah and it was Chanukah and it was Shabbos, so if he said the blessing on Chanukah but did not say the blessing on Shabbos, of course it's not going to fly. He has to go back and say both of them. Okay, continue. If one forgot to add Ala Nisim and realized his mistake before saying Hashem in a conclusion second blessing, he should recite Ala Nisim at that point. So commentary, I'm going to explain. There is, he said Baruch Atah, and remembered before concluding Hashem Ha'oretz al Hamazon. Okay, so as we said, this the blessing for Chanukah and not blessing, blessing, the additions for Chanukah and Purim as added in the second blessing. So if he did not finish the second blessing, right? So he said Baruch Atah Hashem, Baruch Atah, blessed are you, before he say the word Hashem, right? So he can go back and say whatever he missed. But after he said Hashem, of course, with Hashem it's too late. However, if he concluded the second blessing of Bentching not there, right, and then realized that he forgot to say Ala Nisim, he should not go back and recite Ala Nisim. That's it. That's too late. Okay. I mean, okay. That's simply too late. Okay. He should not go back to recite Ala Nisim, nor should he recite the third or fourth recite it in a third or fourth bracha. He should continue benching until after the Harachamon text and add Ala Nisim at that point. So Harachamon, we said it was well, I think it was, we said it was not even rabbinic. It was like what do they call it, like tradition, right? So at that point, okay, so he can add whatever he needs. Okay, no problem. Continue. Next one, very interesting. Number 5, women omitted recite or Yaaleh. Okay. In most instances, the halachas regarding the omission of recite and Yaaleh apply equally to either man or a woman. Okay. For example, if a woman or a man Omitted recite on Friday night or the first Shabbos day meal, she must bench again. That's no difference. She is obligated to eat at least 2 meals on Shabbos. If a woman or a man omitted Yaaleh on Rosh Chodesh or Hamoed, she is not required to bench again. Okay. But he's also not required to bench again. So just okay. There is a notable exception, Yom Tov. A man is required to eat 2 meals with bread on Yom Tov. Therefore, if he omitted Yaaleh at one of these meals, he must bench again. Technically, a woman is not obligated to eat 2 meals with bread on Yom Tov. Therefore, if she forgets Yaaleh, she is not required to bench again, according to many poskim. So let's see. So let me read the last sentence with commentary. Last sentence with commentaries, and we try to explain. Okay, so we say Shabbos, the first 2 meals, they're the same for women and men. So if they omit it, they have to go back and say it. Okay. On Rosh Chodesh and Hamoed, said if a woman skipped by mistake, of course, she's not obligated to go back. Okay, so the only difference between men and women in this regard is Yom Tov. So man is obligated to eat at least 2 meals, so that's no choice. If he forgot Yaaleh, so he has to go back for sure. So now about women and these commentaries. Technically, a woman is not obligated to eat 2 meals at bread on Yom Tov. Not obligated, commentaries. Eating bread on Yom Tov is a time-related mitzvah from which women are exempt. So why it does not apply to Shabbos? Shabbos is different. Okay, Shabbos is different. Okay, so according to many, she's not obligated to eat, even though the women eat 2 meals with bread, but there is some strong opinion that technically she is not obligated. Why? Because women are exempt from all of the mitzvahs that are connected to time, right? But especially if they're busy, they have small kids, big family, they have to, maybe somebody's sick, has for shalom in the house, they have to take care of this of these people or kids. So I mean, she doesn't have time for all of these mitzvahs that connected to time. That's why a woman can daven whatever she wants. She can do on her own schedule. Of course, she cannot say everything when she wants, but still she can pick time. But for men, it's very strict. Okay, you have up to this time you have to say Shema, or you lost the mitzvah. Up to this time you have to complete Shacharis. If you did not finish, okay, they extend according to some opinion even longer. But after that time, that's it. So you lost the mitzvah completely. You're not allowed. Okay, so the only exception, they say, exception for Pesach Seder. So Pesach, everybody obligated, even women. Therefore, if she forgets Yaaleh, she is not required to bench again, according to many poskim. Not everybody agree, but she can always rely on this lenient opinion. And if they ate a meal and she forgot to say Yaaleh on Yom Tov, she's not obligated to stay again, except Pesach. But Pesach, I would say Pesach is a very easy thing, right? Because we read Birkat Hamazon from Haggadah. I mean, all of the Haggadahs that I saw, there is a Birkat Hamazon in there, right? With all of the additions, so it's hard to miss something. I mean, you just read the text from the beginning to the end. Of course, you're going to say all of the additions. Okay. Continue. Number 6. Shabbos or Yom Tov meals ends after nightfall. That's what we were referring to. So it started, let's say, when it was still Shabbos, and now Motzei Shabbos was Yom Tov. It's not a good idea, but I'm going to explain why. We actually learned that when the Yom Tov is Motzei Shabbat, they say don't eat your meal very late. So they say try to eat it as early as possible. And when was it? Maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we have a Pesach Seder starting at Motzei Shabbos, right? Maybe even a few years in a row. And we started down it in all of the shuls that I know. I mean, I don't know many shuls, but okay. So at least that's what all my students also reported. So they started down very early, somewhat 2 hours early. My shul started 1 hour early, right? So they can complete all of the meals. So they would come home, complete all of the meals before like a certain time, right? And because after the certain time, you're not allowed to eat Hamoed, of course. So that's why you start very, very early. You have to dispose of Hamoed. And then you're not allowed to eat like close to the, so you would be allowed, you will be able to eat 3 meals. That's what they say, 3 meals, right? And get rid of the Hamoed. So I mean, not really, yeah, like 2 hours earlier we start. That one, very interesting. So that's the situation. One more time, Shabbos and Yom Tov meals ended after nightfall. A Shabbos meal, which starts before sundown, right? So meaning the person started correctly according to Halacha, before the sundown. Even if it is continuous until well after nightfall, required recite. Even though the Birkat Hamazon is being recited, when there is no longer Shabbos, nevertheless, since the meal started on Shabbos, it is considered Shabbos meal. So very straightforward, clear Halacha. So you started when in appropriate time, right? Let's say he started before the sun. Okay. Yeah, before the sundown, right? Sunset, sundown. Okay. So he started at the proper time before the sundown, and then continue after the nightfall. As we said, it's not such a long meal, maybe 1 hour or so, right? Okay, it's not such a long meal. Okay, nevertheless, even according to all of the opinions, it is Sunday, right? But still, since you started on Shabbos, so for you it's still Shabbos. So I mean, you say recite, continue. This applies to Yom Tov, Hamoed, Rosh Chodesh, Chanuka, and Purim. So basically, if they start, let's say, this Purim meal in a proper time, and then they continue. So it's already like past time, right? You still decide, like it's already nightfall. It's already day after Purim. So, but you can still say this addition for Purim and Hamoed and all other beautiful things. Okay. Even if the meal continue well into the night, one must add Yaaleh or Ala Nisim or Chanuka or Purim to the Bentching at the end of that meal. So just we have to remember that strategy, like approach, is the same, right? It's the same everywhere. So we're going to by beginning. So if began at and on Shabbos, so it's already Sunday, it's still Shabbos for us. Continue. However, if one davened Mariv in the middle of the meal, he should not add recite, Yaaleh, etc. to the Bentching. So, and it's very possible, like let's say the people like to prolong their meal, and they are in their house, like in some shuls, even in my neighborhood, like I know maybe 2 of them for sure they're doing this. They try to give people as much time as possible, right? Free time. So what they do, they daven shacharis, right? They daven musaf. They do a little kiddush, just a little, just symbolic kiddush, right? I mean, it's counted as kiddush, of course, and it's not going to fly like all the time. I don't remember when you can do it. Maybe was it on in the winter for sure. It should work, right? So they finish this kiddush, they bench or do not bench. They mizonos, doesn't matter. So, and like maybe 10 minutes later, Rabbi gives a little class, then 10 minutes, then no more than 10 minutes, and you can pray mincha, and then you have all of this free time, a lot of free time, and then you come back only for Mari. Right, so it's very, very possible, though, in such a situation that people start eating at home, right, and they forgot, they look at the time and say, whoa, they're going to start Mariv in the shul. They have to run. Now they run into the shul, and they did not say Birchas Hamazon. So technically, when a person prays weekday Mariv, it means that he said today's Sunday. That's it, right? He stated Sunday. So when he comes back, of course, he's obligated to say Birchas Hamazon, but he cannot say recite, this edition for Shabbos or Yaaleh or whatever it is. Because why? Because it already was interrupted. He already declared that it's next day. Continue. If Rosh Chodesh starts on Motzei Shabbos, and bread is eaten both before and after sundown, saying recite Yaaleh is questionable. Before and after sundown, okay. The problem is that stating recite indicates that the meal was deemed a Shabbos meal, while saying Yaaleh indicates that the meal was deemed Sunday Rosh Chodesh meal. So, as we said, it cannot be both. You have to say it's Shabbos or Sunday. One can bypass this uncertainty by making sure not to eat a kezayis of bread after the sunset when Rosh Chodesh falls on Sunday. Right. So it's usually when you eat in a shul, right? So Rabbi or Gabbai always is going to announce. They say, okay, we're going to have today like early Suda. Okay. Continue. If bread was eaten during the Ben Hashemashos, so Ben Hashemashos, just to remind us, it's a time between the sunset and the nightfall. So it's questionable time. It's day or night. Okay, collective question. So b'di'evet, so after the fact, if the bread was eaten during Ben Hashemashos, we just explained, but before nightfall, only recite should be recited. Okay, so that's what we go by halacha. So even though like they start before the sundown, right? Before the sundown, everything is allowed. So by the beginning of the night, so somebody would announce, usually Rabbi or Gabbai, so don't eat. So don't eat because don't put yourself in this questionable situation. Okay. However, if kezayis of bread was eaten before the sundown, right? Here we go. And kezayis of bread was eaten after nightfall, there are different minhagim for what to recite. See the Hebrew note footnote. Okay, so don't put yourself in such a situation. All right. So according, I'm going to tell what it says. So according to one opinion, it says that you have to say since you ate after the nightfall, right? So you ate actually on Rosh Chodesh. Let's say Sunday is Rosh Chodesh. So forget about what you did before. So according to now, whatever you ate now, so we're going to according to what you did now, just now. So okay, don't put yourself in these questionable situations. So number 7, started meal before sundown on Erev Rosh Chodesh. Before sundown, okay. Yaaleh is required at the meal which is started before sundown on Erev Rosh Chodesh. Is required which started before the sundown Erev Rosh Chodesh and continue into Rosh Chodesh, provided that at least kezayis of bread was eaten after nightfall. So he's a law. So now it's not Shabbos. It's like, let's say this Rosh Chodesh is on Wednesday. So today is Tuesday. Wednesday starts Tuesday. So it's Tuesday night before the sundown, right? So I start eating meal for whatever reason, right? And it continues into the nightfall. So make sure, don't put yourself in this questionable situation. Make sure that you eat this kezayis. So kizayis, we said it's 1 ounce of 28 grams, approximately, right? Of bread, then you would be obligated to say Rosh addition for Rosh Chodesh. Okay. So, but this piece of bread is very, very important. This halacha also applies to start a meal at the meal before the sundown on Shabbos, Yom Tov, and Saturday. I mean, that's the thing. So try to, if you try to eat something like no, we said not to eat. We said not to eat. So don't put yourself in questionable situation. Even if you start eating Shabbos meal and Sunday is Rosh Chodesh, don't put yourself in questionable situation. You can eat. You have let's say 1 hour, right? 1 hour meal. So to eat bread in the first 45 minutes, then stop, and you will be able to say Berachos Hamazon according to all of the opinions. Just include the Shabbos edition. That's it. Why should you put yourself in this questionable situation? Okay. So continue. Oh, and of course, so there is a note. So it says that this kazayas must be consumed in kidei achilas pras, and kidei achilas pras is a definition of the time spent that it takes to eat standard loaf. And we said it's a different opinion from 2 to 3 minutes, right? The most strict opinion, and up to 9 minutes. Okay, so this kazayas also must be eaten in that span of time. So if a person ate kazayas, but like in 10 minutes, so it does not count. Continue. 8. Mistakenly recited recite or Yaaleh on a regular day. Okay. So I mean, all of these cases that we discussed is when one forgot to say something that he was supposed to. Now we're going to opposite, right? Opposite case that he said something that he was not required to. If one mistakenly recited recite Yaaleh in a benching and weekday meal, it is valid b'diavad. So after the fact, just leave it alone. Don't do anything. He's not required to bench again. Commentary. However, if he realized his mistake before finishing the blessing, there is before saying Baruch Atah Hashem, right? He should go back to the beginning of the bracha, Rachem, and recite again without recite or Yaaleh. So it's very interesting. If he did not finish the end blessing of this recite or Yaaleh, in addition for Shabbos or Yom Tov, so before he said Hashem's name, Baruch Atah Hashem, he said Baruch Atah, and then he realized I should not say that. So stop there, go to the beginning of this blessing, right? This blessing, and wherever he started, because it's like in the middle of the blessing. So go to the beginning of the blessing and just finish without saying these extra things. Okay. So finish the chapter. Any questions on what we said? Okay, so the next chapter is very long, so let me answer one question that was asked yesterday. Very interesting question. And let's see if we have any other question. So the question was asked, if I remember correctly, so is it allowed for a Jew to go to the glatt kosher, like restaurant, let's say meat restaurant, right? If it says glatt kosher, let's see. If it says, but there's no Mashgiach on a site. Is it possible? I say it is possible in smaller place. They simply cannot afford like this Mashgiach. So let's understand who this Mashgiach is, right? It's a person. Some people work independently, but most of them they're covered by some organization. But like some big rabbi, and there are people who he hires, he trains them, or they get certification from somewhere else. There's different places to get certification, and they work on the premises of that restaurant. So of course, the main rabbi inspects that, they inspects the whole procedure, how they prepare things, this and that, kosher utensils, does whatever he needs to do, give them instruction, what they need to change in order for him to put his stamp of certification. And then let's say if it's a more or less bigger place, so he would put his Mashgiach, right? So this Mashgiach has to get the salary, and not only his salary, so he has to this main agency also have to be paid, and plus they have to buy so Mashgiach do not work for minimum wage, right? Of course, we understand that, and plus they have to pay to the top rabbi, and plus they have to buy the medical insurance and this and that. So pretty much for smaller places, it's almost mission impossible to have one more extra employee, right? So that's reality. So if it's so in some cases, these rabbis would allow to have if it's like family business, family, husband and wife, that's it, or two brothers, right? Two brothers, and we know these these guys from my shul, right? So from this rabbi shul, they know them pretty well. So the rabbi knows them. There is no problem, and so he can give them certification. So he checked that the whole process is kosher, but it's going to say there is no mashgiach on site. So basically, if you want to go there and eat, you can go ahead and eat. But if you don't know these people, if you suspect these people, I mean, I just came to this state, to this town, I have no idea. It says glatt kosher. I said, where is your certification? Very nice. Mr. Jew, where is your kippah? No, okay, let's say he's a kippah. He's a kippah. Where is your mashgiach? He say, we don't have mashgiach. So it's up to me. I can eat or can go back. So technically, so if you trust these people, you can eat. It's same like if you go to somebody else's house, right? You don't ask them who's your mashgiach. What do you mean? My wife is my mashgiach. What are you talking about? She knows the Kosher laws better than I am, right? Let's say, not in my case, but let's say in other cases, right? So, but okay, so there is also no mashgiach. So technically, it's up to the person to decide. So if you know who you're dealing with, there is no problem. You can eat that. But of course, not. Some people would be strict, and they would not eat in these places. Understand? But economically, these small places cannot have one more employee. They're not going to make any money. Understand? That's the thing. Okay. Any other questions? We'll stop here. Okay. No problem. So then we stop here, and just to remind us, so this Sunday is going to be fast. So the fast of 17th of Tammuz. So the fast is from check your calendar, local halachic calendar in your place. So this it starts from the dawn. So in my case, it's 3:56. I check my calendar, and ends after the nightfall. So it's 8, in my place. It's 8 something. I don't remember what it is. So we don't eat, we don't drink, and the morning davening it's much longer. Just telling you, like, because we're saying there is special slichas, special additional davening in the morning. So if you read in a normal speed, and there is as unfamiliar unfamiliar text, so it could take easily like another extra 40 minutes extra, just to say 40 minutes simply. All right, just so you know. All right, no problem. So wish you then good Shabbos, and until Monday, Beezrat Hashem. Thank you very much. Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.